But yeah, so why don't we just jump in, Michael? You mentioned the COVID era legislation and all of those pieces. Lots of activity, of course, in 2020 and 2021, but we know many of those have expired. So why don't you
Right.
just give us a little update?
Right. Very good. Yeah, let's start there. And just even beginning with, there's going to be pieces on this webinar today that talk about organizations and also individuals. So let's lead in with, from an organization standpoint for ministries and churches, of course, want to mention the PPP. We all became so familiar with that acronym, the Paycheck Protection Program. There's so many ministries that took advantage of what those were forgivable loans through the SBA. The application period for the PPP that ended on May 31st of 2021. So it's no longer available. There are some past ECFA webinars and resources that we've put out on that topic. But then moving into making a distinction here with the employee retention credit, another form of relief that was available. I call this one out. I think it's important that we still pay attention to this one too, because it has a bit of a longer tail to it than the PPP. So just giving a little sense of timeline and a recap of where we're at. In the fall of 2021, Congress did end the ERC, the Employee Retention Credit, for most employers for wages that were paid after September 30th of 2021. So folks might be saying, well, then why are we still talking about it? Well, because the nature of this credit and how it's claimed, qualifying employers may still take advantage of the credit by retroactively filing Form 941X. That has to be done within a 3-year window. That's why we're still talking about it here. And that relates to for each quarter that the credit was available and in which they paid qualifying wages. So I know I've just hit you with a lot of information. The guides kind of unpack that, but I do mention the latest instructions on the Form 941X will help walk you through that, how to correct even past amounts that were reported on Form 940, how to figure the employee retention credit for those qualified wages. And also, of course, I mean, if this is something that you think may be of advantage to your organization, but you're still analyzing it, really encourage you to consult with your professional tax advisors. They're going to be aware of kind of the ins and outs related to this, help you walk through it. So Jake, I know we wanted to mention that to call attention. We know many ECFA members and friends have taken advantage of that, who are eligible. But then there's also a word of caution, right? Which is how many of us in our email inboxes were getting those annoying messages about applying for the employee retention credit and all. This got to be such a problem, even with some of these third parties making claims about the employee retention credit, that the IRS even put out an announcement that said, be aware, of those that are even promoting some false information about the employee retention credit. So I think it's two parts here. One is an encouragement if you think you may qualify, and then second, a word of caution. Just be really careful that you're consulting with your professional tax advisor who you trust.
Yeah. So 3-year window, Form 941X, and watch out for scammers. I think that's great advice.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel for more finance, governance, and fundraising news and insights for your church or ministry.